This tag says $19.99. This receipt says $21.63 for the exact same single item. So why does America still print prices that aren't the real price in almost every store, almost every state, on almost every receipt you've ever kept? The answer involves how state governments actually work behind the scenes, a legal split most shoppers never think about, and one habit retailers built decades ago that simply never went away. Yes, sales tax is the obvious reason, but that explanation is incomplete on its own. If it were only about tax, countries all over the world charge sales tax or value-added tax too, often at much higher rates than American states, and their price tags still show the final number a customer actually pays. So something specific to the American system is different, and it isn't just the existence of the tax itself. Sales tax in America isn't a single national policy handed down from one authority. It's a patchwork of thousands of separate state and local decisions that began during the Great Depression, when cash-strapped state governments urgently needed new sources of revenue and started taxing retail sales one state at a time, starting with Mississippi in 1930. Some states adopted a sales tax quickly, others waited decades, and a handful still have none at all today. Even within a single state, cities, counties, and special districts can each layer their own additional percentage on top of the state rate. By the time the system fully matured, there were thousands of distinct combined tax rates scattered across the country, sometimes changing from one side of a street to the other. But a patchwork of overlapping state and local taxes explains how the system started, not why the printed price tag itself never adjusted to show the final number. If you enjoy discovering the hidden systems behind ordinary American life, subscribe. That is exactly what this channel explains. With thousands of overlapping tax rates scattered across the country, a national retailer selling the exact same product in 10 different states, or even 10 different cities within one state, would technically need 10 different price tags for a single item. Instead, the industry settled on one simple workaround decades ago. Print the pre-tax price everywhere, on every shelf and every package, and let the cash register calculate the correct local tax automatically at the moment of checkout. That workaround saves enormous printing and logistics costs, but it creates another advantage for retailers that matters even more than the savings itself. A single national price tag means one set of packaging design, one set of shelf labels shipped to every store, and one national advertising campaign that works identically in every market. Changing that system now would mean reprinting millions of labels, store by store, tax jurisdiction by tax jurisdiction, and constantly updating them whenever a local tax rate changes. An enormous recurring logistical cost for very little practical benefit to the seller. This isn't a decision individual retailers make store by store, or even chain by chain. An entire pricing infrastructure across multiple industries is already built around this assumption. Point-of-sale software is specifically designed to calculate tax at the register, not before, pulling live rates from a location-based database. Advertising agencies, manufacturer packaging designers, and price comparison websites are all built around one clean, national, pre-tax number that never has to change based on where a customer happens to be standing. Even government tax collection systems are designed to gather tax revenue from the retailer after each sale is completed, not to require it printed in advance. So a shelf price without tax included isn't some kind of trick played on shoppers. It's the natural output of a system where dozens of separate, unrelated industries already assume, by default, that tax gets calculated and added last. So why doesn't America just fix this and require the real price up front? Isn't it obviously better and more transparent for shoppers to see the true final number before they get to the register? Some places have actually tried exactly that. A few U.S. states allow, or in narrow cases require, tax-inclusive pricing for certain specific goods, and the practice still hasn't taken off nationally, largely because it would immediately force every national retailer back into printing different tags for different tax zones, undoing the exact simplicity that made unified national pricing efficient in the first place. It's also worth noting that tax-exclusive pricing isn't purely a disadvantage for consumers either. It makes the actual cost of local government spending visible on every single receipt, which some economists argue keeps local tax increases more politically accountable than a fully hidden tax-inclusive price would. Neither pricing system is simply better in every way. Each one trades a bit of convenience for a bit of transparency, just in a different place along the transaction. American prices exclude tax because the system began as a scattered patchwork of state-by-state taxation during the Depression, became efficient nationwide through one universal pre-tax price tag, and developed over decades into a full pricing infrastructure where manufacturers, retailers, software companies, and tax authorities all already expect tax to be calculated and added last. American price tags aren't missing the tax because stores are secretly trying to trick you at the counter. They're missing it because once an entire country builds its pricing systems, software, and advertising around adding tax last, showing it first becomes more expensive and more disruptive than the small confusion it causes every single shopper. But pricing isn't the only American system hiding its real cost behind a clean surface. The same country that hides tax until the register also hides an entire building material choice behind its walls. And once you see how deep that system runs, you'll never look at a house frame the same way again.